Welcome to Mike's apartment, where we do drink reviews and we have a little bit of comedy along the way. I am your host. I am Mike. With me tonight is my co-host, Tom. Tom, how are we doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing really good. I took the week off after my birthday, which was Sunday, and we're revisiting some drinks today. So I chose Romulan Ale,
And so I chose Fireball and Code Red, which I thought was interesting.
which I was gonna do, because I got the Fireball whiskey sour apple, and when I went up to the gas station today for Code Red, the lady said, "Oh, we're under new management, and they're not ordering certain things, and we don't have any Code Red." And she even went back to check, and I was like, "Well, fuck all. I guess I'll just
It's
shoot."
fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Anyway,
Fuck it.
yeah.
This is our
Anyways,
bonus.
I said, well, you're going to revisit that drink. Maybe I'll revisit a different one. I could do margaritas if I needed to, but I decided today I would get some Romulan ale, which, by the way, is double mellowed Tennessee whiskey. It's called Gentleman Jack.
I would like you to remember who bought you that bottle. Who got that for you again?
That, that was you, Mike.
Oh
That's
yeah, it
why
was
I.
me. It
That's
was
why.
me.
That's why I put it on camera, was because I really appreciated that bottle. As you can see, it had been empty, and now I'm using it. I'm paying it forward with other drinks like Romulan ale, and maybe I haven't used it for any other mixed beverages, but I've kept it for that purpose. Uh,
So this is our
Thank you,
this is a
thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This is a bonus round. We're actually normally the Mike's apartment rating is 5-0. We're not going to do that because you know what? We've actually already rated these. This is just a bonus episode because well, he has the week off. I have the week off. We might as well make another episode. So we are going to talk tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about how to tame your dog. Well, basically, just
Uh,
introducing your dog,
Introducing yourself
bonding.
to a dog.
Yeah, bonding with a dog, bonding. Have your dog bond with other animals, like maybe cats, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit. But first things first. So you got the Romulan ale, is that right?
Yep, yep.
Hold that up for a second, if you don't mind, my good sir. All right, cheers. We always got to cheers.
Cheers.
Put your little pinky up if you want to.
Well, I have English in me, so I have to.
Mm. Not bad. Tastes pretty good. Tastes pretty fucking good. This is some good shit. Oh, I'm swearing less than 7 minutes in. What are they gonna do to me?
Fuck it.
Slap,
Let's just swear.
slap my wrist a little bit. Yeah.
Oh
Um.
crap! Holy shit, we're demonetized already.
But yeah, we're
We
demonetized before we're
we might
monetized. We were
we
never
might
monetized.
we might even if we get 11 views on this, we're going to be demonetized.
um. So what I guess that also means about this show, though, is we don't. I mean, we're talking about dogs, but we don't necessarily
Yeah.
have like a serious like news or current event type
hmm
topic. But that's fine too. We
This,
don't.
this, this is more of a general, like some basic information kind of thing, and we we don't necessarily have all the details. We're not Mike and I. We're not trained like dog handlers or whatever by any means.
But we are experienced in this.
Promethean.
Promethean the
Yeah.
Created. We're going to talk about this
Yeah.
after the dogs. And as you can see, I got to get some tape apparently here. The binding is going a little bit bad on this book. But
Get a new book and burn that one to keep the
well,
house warm.
oh, I'll talk to your brother about the burning. And that so I hear he's
Yeah,
an
Mike,
experienced role
you know
playing game book burner. He loves to
that
burn
was
role
like
playing game books.
that was like almost 20 years ago, and I'm still hot under the collar. No pun intended.
I and I
But
and I bet he would still burn my book if I asked him to. So,
but I want you to keep that book because in case it was at the crap. There was a book called The Coming Global Superstorm, where the Earth like froze instantly, whatever, like and caused a new ice age, and people were like in the library burning books. In the movie, I can't remember what it was called. Um, but anyways, back to meeting dog to the dog
You want to go
stuff.
to the
So
dog thing? Okay.
yeah. My contribution, I think, would maybe be good to provide first because it was about how to meet a dog.
Sure.
So Caesar Milan, aka the Dog Whisperer, who I don't think he can legally use that term right now, but to me, he's the Dog Whisperer. Um, he will always be that. But anyways, he always says so. Humans are eyes, ears, nose. So nose is the last thing for us, like smelling. When we see things, when we're like observing things, our first attention is eyes, and then we hear things and we pay attention to that, and then nose is the last thing. With dogs, it's the reverse. It's nose, eyes,
Eh,
nose, ears, eyes
yeah.
last, whatever.
Eyes is last.
Uh,
Yeah. They don't have very good vision.
so so his thing, and I saw a short today where he kind of explained it a little bit, which he kind of connected. He mentioned two different things that I've heard throughout his different shows and stuff, and I never necessarily connected them to the intro. So he said, when you meet a dog, he says, no eyes, no touch, no was it no whatever, no touch, no talk, no contact, eye contact. So you just kind of physically, maybe it looks like you're ignoring them, but you're letting them use their first sense, their nose, to get to know you by scent. And then once they've kind of done their thing, then you can, if you're able to kind of gauge how things are going, then you can maybe get down and pet them, and or maybe you can read their body contact. Maybe they don't want to be pet. Which that's sometimes that's the case. They just want to come up and sniff you and then go off, and then it's fine. And later, maybe later you can pet them. Maybe you can give them treats or something. But that intro is very important. And I remember the first foster I had after my ex and I we had separated. I started fostering dogs again. We had fostered dogs before and we took a break, and then as kind of a thing for me to do that was healthy, I got back into fostering dogs. My first dog was rescued from a reservation, and I'm not and I don't want to give any negative connotation to people on reservations with their dogs. They it seems that for the most part they do have a different mindset than than some of us do, like you and me. Uh, but a lot of them leave their dogs out. They don't get them fixed. It's kind of like in Mexico, they don't fix their dogs. Or we talked about that, I think, last week with the overpopulation. Was it last week or whatever video we
It
did?
was a few weeks ago. Yeah. No,
Where we talked about
not
the
last week.
overpopulation
Yeah.
of pets and stuff. In most countries, they don't fix their dogs. They don't spay or neuter them. So I think that's, it seems to me from what I have, my experience with the couple animals that I helped foster that were rescued from reservations, it seems that they also don't usually fix their dogs. But anyways, so my first foster after my ex and I separated, her name was Misha, and she had been chained to a tree outside. She was at the age of 9 months old, got pregnant with her first litter of puppies and her last, because we were they agreed to let us take her, and they got her fixed, and all of her puppies got adopted out. And then I had her for about 3 years, which, by the way, brings up kind of another subject. It seems she was a black dog. She had other like white and light browns, whatever mixed in. But for the most part, she was mostly black. And apparently, black dogs are some of the most least adoptable dogs because people think black dogs are they don't
Oh, like
There's
like
like this.
like black cats, like a superstition.
Yeah.
Like if you
I don't know if
cross
it's a
a
superstition, but I know
yeah.
I remember there was an episode on the Dog Whisperer where he went into a shop with a dog he was helping, and they just went into this pet friendly shop, and the lady had a thing up about adopting black dogs, and apparently that's a thing because people don't adopt black dogs for the most part, and I was like, what? There's some they're
Well,
just a dog, but
one of my first dogs as a kid was a completely black Labrador retriever. His name was Buck. We kind of maybe it's a stupid name, but his name was
no,
Buck.
it's not.
But no, I had a black lab was one of my first dogs, and I I,
Yeah,
I loved Buck. Buck was an
no, they're
amazing dog. I mean,
fantastic dogs. I remember our
yeah.
when I was a teenager. Uh, my parents were separated at the time. They eventually got back together, but at the time they were separated. We were living up in Crosby, Minnesota, which was close to Brainerd. If anybody's seen the movie Fargo, Brainerd is in that movie. But anyways,
We almost have to
I
talk
remember.
about that movie though. Oh well. Well, I'll give you
Well,
I'll give you your moment here, but we may need to talk about
okay,
Fargo with Steve Buscemi a little
all
bit.
right.
Go
Which I
ahead.
have not seen Fargo, so that'll be all you. But
What?
our neighbor,
You
our
referred
neighbor
to
had.
you referred to Fargo, but you don't know you've never seen the movie?
I haven't. I
What?
okay. Well,
Just
you know what? We maybe you want to table that until I can watch it and we can talk about it next week or on Saturday or whenever.
or some
But
weeks.
anyways, our neighbor right next. So our house was like 5 feet away from the house next to us, and they had a black lab. The guy's name was Ryan. I actually got to be good friends with him later on, but he had this big black lab, and technically the house was his girlfriend's, I think, but they lived together, and he saw this big black lab as his guard dog, and it would like bark and growl at us when we would go outside. Well, I decided one day we had rescued a girl dog. She was a German short hair mix. So she had like the pointer in her, whatever. Like she would like, lift her leg up and kind of point at stuff, whatever, with her nose. And but she didn't look like the typical pointer. She had like the golden covers, so she colors. So she had something mixing with her. Anyways, I had I've always been an animal person. I've always been able to kind of figure out how to make friends with different animals like dogs or cats and stuff like that. Snakes are still kind of an enigma to me, but anyways, same as spiders. But anyways, I brought her outside one time, and I decided I wanted to make friends with this dog, and so I took her over, and we did an intro, and so the black dog was a male, and a female male. They were both fixed, so there wasn't any like sexual attraction there. Well, maybe there was. I don't know. I don't know how dogs work as far as that goes when they've been fixed. I know they still kind of sometimes have the same tendencies with wanting to hump as a either a domination thing or other things. But anyways, I used her to meet that dog, and then Ryan, my neighbor, complained. He's like, "You ruined my guard dog, damn it!"
How could you, Tom?
But but no, he was still very protective. So he got to be friends with me and my brothers and stuff. And then I remember one time my brothers had some friends over and they were just playing tag or something in the backyard. And my brothers knew if they ran within the radius of that dog, well, his name was Noose, short for
News.
nuisance. And they knew if they ran within the radius of his chain, they could run by him all they wanted. But anybody who's chasing them, he would stop them.
Uh,
He would like go "Rawr, rawr, rawr, rawr," whatever. But anyways, so back to Misha. So I was fostering her. I had her for 3 years. She was a great mama. She helped me. I have fostered probably like 9 or 12 puppies or something in 3 years, And she was there with me for all of those puppies. And unfortunately, she's a black dog. I'm thinking maybe people didn't want to adopt her. There were a few people. I had introduced her to many people over those years. One of the concerns that they had when they rescued her was she was aggressive to new people. And I found that if I did a proper introduction with her to new people, she was never aggressive. And uh, oh, sorry, I had to stretch my back and crack it. But anyways, uh, there was another. She was also good. I had several shy, super shy dogs. Like I had two Great Pyrenees that would not want to be around any people. They were fine with kids, but like a certain age and up, like adults, whatever, she was scared of them, and she was really good with helping them socialize. And there was another foster who wanted to adopt her because she had a super shy dog, and but when I introduced Misha to new people, I made sure I was always there, and we did. Are you doing shots? Yeah, we might. I might have to speed this up. Sorry. Anyways, so I made sure I was always there to introduce her to new people. And this lady, who was another foster, had a super shy dog. She wanted Misha to help her socialize, and so she adopted Misha. And I told her whenever she meets new people, I am always there. I am always making sure people are calm, and she is calm. And so she didn't. I also worked from home at the time because it was COVID, and she did not work from home, but she was living with her boyfriend who had had ankle surgery, and he was basically immobile. For him to get around, have you seen people on those little scooters they kind of kneel
Yes.
on,
Yep.
and they have
Yep.
like
Yep.
the ankle brace? So that's how he would get around. He couldn't really walk, and also, a side note to the story that is important is her brother used to live with her and he'd moved out, but he still has some stuff there. So, fast forward, I get a message from my foster organization saying, "Oh, Misha bit somebody at her house pretty badly." And it turned out her brother had come over while she was at work to get some things. And he came in to meet Misha, and the initial intro went well with her, him, and the boyfriend. And then the brother started taking stuff out to his car. And now this is where I'm kind of inserting what I think the story was, because they said I'm thinking what happened was he was going inside, getting stuff, going outside, coming back in, going back outside, and they weren't paying attention to Misha's concern. And I think she started getting really worried. And then what I was told was at one point she was like growling at the brother, and then apparently the boyfriend and the brother were both yelling at her, "Calm down, just calm the hell down," or whatever. Kind of like Jim Belushi in Return to Me, the movie, which is a good movie. But anyways, we can talk about that another time, which I would like to. Good movie, romantic comedy, which we don't talk about much here. But anyways, so eventually she bit the brother. She broke skin, and they asked me if I would take her back. I was like, "Oh, sure, you know, heck yeah, I'll take Misha back." And I had to have they had to have a trainer come out, a dog trainer come out to assess her aggressiveness. And we were I when she came over, she came in, she met the dog. We went out in the backyard, and she observed Misha. No aggressiveness whatsoever. And like I said, it's all about like how you intro the dog. You got to pay attention to their energy. I mean, it's not just about you. It's really, I mean, if you want to if you want to meet a dog in any kind of a dog, aggressive or whatever, you got to pay attention to the energy and then approach it responsibly. I mean, a nervous dog, you don't just walk straight up to a nervous dog. Yeah, you might be able to turn to the side and kind of pay attention to how they're acting. You can maybe get a little closer. If they back away, then you stop and maybe adjust your position a little bit, whatever. But I'm kind of dominating here, Mike. You had some stuff you wanted to talk about as well about dogs and cats and
Oh,
introing animals.
yeah, I would just say, I mean, yeah, we might want to focus a little bit more on like the positive things that we can do to how to tame your dog.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, I love the stories. I love the stories, but I would say, kind of the focus might want to be more on like what you can do. I will say this. Okay, dog bonding. The biggest thing I've noticed, if you can, and if you can sleep and they can sleep, let your dog sleep in the bed with you. And just give them a bath like every week or so they don't get stinky or whatever. But
Mhm.
let your dog, honestly, like one of the biggest bonding moments that I have ever had with a dog is if you sleep with them, and especially if they trust you and your part. I have a girlfriend, I have a partner that I sleep in bed with every night, and the dog, his name is Churro. He loves to sleep between us. He feels
Mhm.
safest, and also it's a bonding experience for all of us because he trusts us like that much more. And that's one of the things. The only other thing, well, I had two other things to say. We're going to talk about dog vision really quick, right?
Yeah.
So humans, um, the cells in our eyes, they're trichromatic. We can see blue, red, and green spectrums with not much of a hit. Some humans can actually see into a fourth thing. It's ultraviolet, and actually usually it's women. It's not men who have it. Usually it's women who have ultraviolet vision. So they do have a fourth chromatia that they can see into. But you have to remember with dogs, they can only see into two. They can see red and green. They can't see into the blue spectrum. So if you're like we were talking about the senses, that the animal has, dogs can also smell like 1,000 times the chemicals and everything else that they can like sense 1,000 times better than a human. Their hearing easily 100 times better than a human. But yeah, correct. And when it comes to sight, humans can see better than dogs and cats too, because they can only see in the red green. They have dichromia or bichromia, you could say, but they don't have the trichromia, which is blue, red, and green that most humans have. So there's that. The only thing,
They can see stuff on TVs, which when I was a kid they said they couldn't,
oh,
but they
they can.
can.
Oh
They
yeah.
can.
Oh,
Yeah.
they can. They may not 100% understand what they're seeing
Yeah.
necessarily, but they can, or they may just filter it out. They may just be like, well, that's shit that I've seen 100 times before. We don't care what it is. The only other thing I would say, okay, so dog and cat. How did we get our dog and our cat to bond? Really? It was patience. It was not. So the thing to remember is the dog is going to have the prey instinct where they want to chase the cat. The cat is going to want to have the protective instinct where they,
Hmm.
and it depends on the size of the dog. I mean, obviously, a very large dog and a small cat is going to be a lot different to train than two, like a cat and a dog at the same level, which is what we did. So maybe that made it easier. But yeah, no, definitely. They love each other now. They sleep next to each other. They cuddle. They they accept each other. Like our dog will smell her butt and give her licks like on the face. The cat will also she'll put her paw like on his head and then she'll lick his head. I mean, it works out. I mean,
Yeah.
it can work out. We don't necessarily
So
have to
yeah.
bring up that really bad thing that happened, Tom. I don't think we should bring that up.
Okay, that's fine.
The bad thing.
I would say this though. So I've also heard the opposite about letting the dog sleep with you. So it's not about letting the dog sleep with you. It's about if the dog has like some negative behaviors, maybe you should work with a trainer to review if maybe because sometimes when a dog is sleeping with you, they're also at the same time exhibiting maybe dominance traits if they're like putting their sleeping on you or whatever. Maybe they're claiming you or whatever. Like if because I've seen like in the dog whisperer like sleeping together where couples like the wife would end up in one episode. I think the wife ended up sleeping on the recliner because the dog was protecting the husband from her. So, so you gotta be careful with that.
I would just say
But
this.
that,
Sure.
that extended past the bedroom. That was not just sleeping
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah, I would
And
just
I
say it can work out very well if
it does. Yeah, it can.
it
I
can.
I let my dogs sleep with me if they want to. But with my German Shepherd Susie, I can in the middle of the night I can roll over and put my leg on her or whatever, and she's like, whatever, fine.
Yeah, my dog too.
She's a
Same
big
thing.
pushover. Skeeter,
Churro. Churro.
he likes to sleep on the bed with me, but he's not as cuddly. But uh, so
Oh,
and
look at
then
this one.
oh churro, do I need to get my dogs in here?
You
Well,
know.
Skeeter won't come up on my lap, but Susie would.
Oh.
They're sleeping though. I don't want to interrupt them, but the other thing, meeting animals. So we discussed when we were talking about dogs, they are pack animals. And when we say pack animals, they don't necessarily just see their pack as only dogs. We as their humans can be part of their pack. You have a cat, Churro sees that cat as part of its pack. I've seen on the Dog Whisperer shows cockatoo bird was the alpha in a pack of dogs, cats, and lizards. Uh, I mean, like the humans would get bit by the dogs, but when that cockatoo was on the floor walking around, the dogs gave that bird a wide berth. And
Oh.
so for a dog, the key is getting that dog to see whatever pet you have, a bird or a cat or a turtle. I've seen turtles as well. Um, Getting them to accept that animal as a part of their pack. You might need a trainer to help you do that, especially if you have a dog that has a high prey drive. A high prey drive does not mean that they cannot be with cats or other little animals like bunnies or guinea pigs, whatever. It's all about helping them establish a pack. So for you, Mike, you have your girlfriend, you have Churro, you have your cat. That's your pack. And then I know you said that you've taken Churro to the your her family events, whatever,
Oh,
your
sure.
girlfriend's family events, and they have fun together. So that's kind of an extended pack, maybe, or maybe that's a different pack as in their perspective. I don't know, but but that's kind of you don't want to if you want to have a dog with cats and because I know I've had a dog that killed a cat that I fostered because they gave up the dog because it killed a cat in their family because they were trying to keep the dog separate from the cats. And if you're going to have a dog with in a the same household as cats, that's not a safe thing until you decide to make them all part of the same pack. Now, cats are not pack animals. We discussed that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they you could have a cat on its own for like 50 years or I don't know how long they live. not 50 years, but
Maybe 20 at
they
the
could,
most, at the very most, 20.
they could go from being born and leaving their litter of kitties. I don't know if it's called a litter with cats, but
Yes, yes, it is.
they they could after that they could live their whole life by themselves and be content.
Sure,
But dogs, they thrive. They really desire to have a pack. So,
sure. I would just say
but
let's
anyways,
let's sort of like let's get to wrapping this up a little bit on the dog thing. Anything
oh
you
yeah.
would anything you on taming your dog, anything important that you think you missed, or anything, anything else that you think you'd want to say about how to tame your dog that would have value to to the people who don't know
So,
anything about dogs, people who know shit about dogs. What would you tell them? What was the first thing you would say?
my gosh. So with dogs, calm, calmness in yourself, in your soul, and assertiveness, meaning you are in charge. Uh, your dog is a reflection of you. So if your dog is having bad issues, look internally first and do some soul searching. Also, be aware you might need to get some professional help, especially if your dog is misbehaving, biting people, or whatever. And I would say if you can find a trainer that will call you out on your shit, then work with that trainer and be open to their comments. Uh, Let go of anything saying, "Oh, it's the dog." Suddenly, the dog started doing this, and I have no idea what's going on. No, I recently went through a stressful time when I was going from selling my old house. I had no place to go, and then I finally found this place, but I had to stay at a an extended stay hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and I had my dogs with me. It was a very stressful time for me, and my dogs were reacting poorly to external stimuli, with like people out in the hallways, whatever. They would bark at people slamming doors or whatever, and it was a reflection of my state of mind. So if your dog is reacting poorly, look at yourself first, uh, and and find out what's wrong with you, and if there's something you can fix, or if you need help, get help. Do it. I've done it on many different occasions. I've had to be humble and eat humble pie, whatever, and just say, you know what, I I've got something going on here, and I need some help fixing it. So, and that has benefited my two dogs and anybody who's interacted with them. So,
Well, and
I,
as you say too,
I kind of deep there, but
Caesar Milan also says, he says he doesn't fix dogs, he fixes
he,
humans. He
he
doesn't actually.
rehabilitates dogs.
He,
He helps the humans.
yeah, he helps the humans with their leadership,
Trains the humans.
as you said,
Mm.
assertiveness, um,
Calmness and calm
calmness.
assertiveness.
You don't necessarily have to be dominant. You just have to
No.
understand their actions and react accordingly. I mean, that's
Yep.
a lot of it.
Mhm.
A lot of it is that. All right. Any before we move on to our Promethean thing,
Give this a 5. I want to give this a 5.
you can't. We've already graded this. You can.
Oh,
This
shit.
is it's a bonus round. However, how about one more cheers here, Tom? One more cheers.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, my friend, because we're gonna move on to
Thank.
Promethean. Mm. Which
This might end up being a 2-hour video.
mm, I doubt it. We'll see. All right. All right. So, our next topic, Promethean the Created. It is a God. It's similar. I mean,
It's a role playing game like
it's a
Dungeons and Dragons,
it's a role-playing
but
game.
different system.
Vastly, it's Chronicles of Darkness, second to, well, the book. Again, we'll show the book here. It is second edition. I actually own all of the first edition books, and Tom and I, we have played in a first edition Chronicle and a second edition Chronicle, so we have experience with both. Now, why?
Can I give a
Oh, of
go?
course. Oh, go ahead, please, sir.
So for anybody who is not familiar with the game, I think everybody is familiar that's watching this or who may watch this or may not watch this is familiar with the story of Frankenstein. So Frankenstein was a doctor who cobbled together parts of a corpse and created a what was called the monster, I think, right? Well, he was
Hmm.
called the monster in the books, whatever, and brought it to life. So Promethean is a role-playing system where the story is you are a created creature like that. There's different versions of the created. There are some that are basically the same as the Frankenstein monster, but that there's also other versions of it that could be created by magic or whatever. But go on.
All right. So, how is it different? Um, you're not going to go into a dungeon. You're not going to try to get gold and or magical items necessarily. You're not. You really don't need any of that. So you got a few problems. Number one, you have torment. You are tormented by the fact that you are created. You don't have
Mhm.
the humanity. You don't have whatever within yourself to not get angry. So you can get angry very easily, frustrated with just expressing yourself. You can get that. The other thing is there's disquiet. Disquiet is this, and it is a system within the game where the people around you treat you more and more differently, and it all depends upon what type of. So okay, so let's jump over to like what kinds you can be. You can technically Frankenstein is one of the options. You could be a
Frankenstein's
Frankenstein monster.
monster.
Frankenstein's monster. You could be one of that's one choice. You can be a Galatea, which is like a Greek like statue. You could be a Tamaz, which is one of the Jewish Hebrew type
Oh,
golem creatures.
yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. With
Yeah,
like do they have to have like the note or whatever in their mouth or
or on
whatever?
their face, yeah, on their head with the letter. Yeah, there's that.
Okay.
There's you can be like a mechanical one, which is just like a robot type creature. That
I forgot about that.
and there's a few others. There's the Osiris. You're an Egyptian type created.
Is that
Where
like a mummy or
no, not exactly because you have something cut off. Typically your penis, but it could be a finger. It could be something
oh,
else. But
oh, okay. So if it's a finger, that means it could be a woman.
if it's a
So if they cut off
penis,
the finger, that means that we could have a female Promethean, right?
uh, I don't know about that.
Or is it a sexist Promethean?
Very sexist. Anyways, so you have a few choices on what kind of Promethean you want to be. Long story short, though, so yeah, so you are filled with torment, and you're surrounded by disquiet. You also have this wasteland effect, which is where if you spend too much time in any place, it becomes a wasteland. Like it affects the environment literally. So you
Like
have
plants
to
die and all that
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff,
you
or
you have to keep moving as a Promethean. Usually, there are some merits that help you kind of like debunk that a bit, but not like a lot.
not debunk but mitigate, right?
Yeah, but the thing is this: the game is not about like getting treasure. It's not about getting gold. It's not about becoming more powerful necessarily. It's about becoming human. And a lot of those things are like understanding love, taking responsibility, creating art, facing moral choices, building relationships despite all these things. And you're facing all these other type of things now. Pandorans are the broken pieces of when a Promethean tries to create another. If they fail, a bunch of these Pandorans are born, and they're basically like enemies. Um, you're it's at least one point, and that's the other thing too. Your pilgrimage. You're not on an adventure to get treasure and power and magical items and all kinds of defeat enemies to get more experience points. That's not what the game's about. You are trying to become human. Your ultimate goal is humanity, and there are a lot of things stopping you along the way. But let's hop over to this though. I'm talking from the perspective of a game master. Tom, when we played our two Chronicles, tell me how it was as a character. Like how was it as a player?
Well, I mean, our first game, what? The only thing I remember from our first game, like as far as the gaming went, was you giving this huge glass, like wine glass, and filling it to the brim with wine. But
I tried.
no, I, I mean, I remember having fun with that. The last game that we played that you ran, I remember. So they have like these feats and stuff you can take, and I took like a parkour feat. And what were you running it? And what did
I
Mackay run
no,
that?
I was running it. Mackay's never run one.
Wait,
I
shit.
I always ran it.
No, no, no. Crap. That's never mind. Anyways, uh, I slipped there. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Anyways, no. Anyways, that game. I think we ended up like in the Alps and all that kind of stuff. We went all over the place. But I remember I took the ability parkour or whatever where I could like, and it ended up coming into play where I got chased and I used it to get away. It's a fun game system, and you you can you I mean, like Mike said, the kind of the purpose is to for the character to become human, but you can kind of and the game that Mike ran for that Promethean game wasn't a long term game. It was kind of the games that we usually run are intended to be kind of short term. Sometimes they run a little longer than they may be intended. Whoever's running the game intended, but so for me and my character, he started out discovering he had all these abilities,
Hmm.
and he kind of wanted to explore that a bit. And for me, story wise, my character in that game never got to the point where he's like, you know what? I think I just want to be human again. Because he started out as a human. I don't remember which Promethean type I went with. I don't think he was Frankenstein's monster template, but but Mike talks about like the disquiet and all that kind of stuff. Those are more things like they're on you have to mark certain things on your character sheet. Like there's certain types of different things. Like I don't know if there's different types of disquiet maybe I'm thinking more of like the vices and stuff like that.
No, there
But
is. Yeah, every type of Promethean has their own type of disquiet. So
so
they
so
do.
but the disquiet that your character has, or the vice, because there's another category called vice and stuff like that.
Well,
If
virtue,
you
virtue and vice. Yeah.
virtue and vice,
Yeah.
um, so you have to select like certain things that would be listed as a virtue and a thing that would be listed as a vice. Like maybe your character is an alcoholic or something. I don't know, but if you're able to work something in that is related to that statistic or stat, vice or virtue, whatever, you can get bonuses then for certain things. So Uh, it it is kind of technical for me as a person who kind of shies away from like reading all the rules and all that kind of stuff, and trying to go from like a high level down, like and kind of looking at my character from a high level and like what makes sense for him to do or her, because I've played I did actually play in a game. I did play uh, what's the term for a person who's born with both genders? Hermaphrodite.
Or hermaphrodite. Okay.
Yes, I did play a character with that in a game once. Um, which, by the way, um, I'm a I'm a I identify as a male, so I, I doing those like a hermaphrodite or a female character is a real stretch for me. So it's I try to do that with grace when I do those characters. But anyways, uh, no, but no, it's a game that I think kind of allows you to kind of explore humanity. Sometimes maybe in a similar fashion as the what were the monsters from the Hellraiser movies we discussed?
I don't
like
remember.
like the we have such sights to show you.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
such a.
please, please. I could imagine a Promethean opening the puzzle box from Hellraiser being,
Mm,
yes, yes, I scored.
well, yeah. Uh, Skip ahead a little bit here. I mean, so yeah, we totally. I would if we had the time. Well, maybe we do have the time. I mean, Tom, we think about it now. We're not stuck. Well, okay. I have something to tell you. This is going to be completely
What
crazy.
news?
News.
News?
Well, news. Yes. There is a lady. Her name is Corey. We won't go into anything else about her. She wants to play a Demon the Fallen game, which is an older. It's also a Chronicle. Well, not. It's a World of Darkness game that I have the books for and the PDFs for. She wants to play that. You and I apparently seem to have some time here. It's a little bit different than Promethean, but actually, in a lot of ways, it is similar. We may want to do this. I mean, if you have time and I have time, I mean, I'm just throwing my hands up here. We'll talk about this maybe outside of the chat here, but I mean, we're getting pretty close to the end, anyways. But yeah,
Yeah.
that might be a thing we talk about. And yeah, Promethean they created.
Well, if we do that game, I and we talk about it, I think maybe she could join us for the discussion.
Oh, she would love to. Actually, I would have to.
I wouldn't mind that. I mean, depending on whatever
Obviously, we'd have
details,
to.
but
Yeah, there'd be some technical things I would need to change. But, anyways, long story short.
you mean like microphone settings? Because as
Well,
masculine men, we have to be louder than she is.
mm,
So no, I'm kidding. I'm no
uh,
fuck that.
all right.
We've already
Anyways,
sworn this video, so fuck that.
long story short, this was all just a bonus video, anyways, guys.
Yeah,
There's no real key here to whatever
we
happens.
we we, we just hope that you enjoy it. The 11 people that watch it, or I don't know how many people are going to watch it. Maybe it'll
17.
get more than that.
17. We have 17 subs. All right. So, anyways, everyone, you like what you saw? Like, dislike, comment negatively, comment positively, subscribe. We'd love to subscribe. Share, share.
If you hate us, subscribe for hate
Yes,
views.
and then hate it. Yes, please. It's all the same to us. But all right. Any last thoughts, Tom, or anything else? Anything else you want to say?
Let's get some. Make your own fucking Romulan ale. Oh, by the way, so Romulan ale requires a simple syrup, which I ran out of, and I
Mm.
looked up the ingredients for it. Do you know what simple syrup is?
Sugar? Oh, I don't know.
I don't know why I fucking paid however much I paid for those bottles that I got. It's equal parts water and sugar. So I made a cup of sugar and a cup of water and you don't have to boil it. You just cook it till the water absorbs the sugar,
Sure.
and then that's all you got to do. Why am I paying for that crap?
I don't know.
By the way, Mike, you better put that in the description. That wait till the end of the video to get an the recipe for sugar
Oh, I'm
water
sure we'll get it. I'm sure we
for
got it.
simple syrup for simple syrup.
All
I
right.
looked it up on Google.
All right. Everyone, we're going to say good night. Have a good night.
Good night.